Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey and Paul Bennett here on December 26th, Friday, 2014, Boxing Day, uh, at almost 14:50 in the afternoon Eastern Time. Now, Paul just got back from work. He had you went in you went at 8 this morning,
Yeah.
and he was supposed to be off at what one, but he walked in at 2:30. So,
It was about 1:45 before he left.
well, he had to go to the store to get some stuff here. We'll have to see what this nonsense is about. Sorry about that. Uh, this call was from an automobile dealership, where I bought my truck and where Paul bought his truck. And she says this is
Amber.
Amber. Amber obviously grew up in a house trailer, didn't she? Amber. I bet you when they named her that, they weren't thinking of the solidified. Honey, you're out of shot.
Sorry.
They were thinking of the solidified honey in which they find insects, along the Baltic coast over there in Europe. I wonder what would happen if, like, some giant colony of bees developed such that their honey flowed out of their hive and flowed down over the trailer courts of America and solidified all these folks in amber. I wonder if
They could have been thinking of ashes.
Because
some people call that hot amber.
Well, that's embers, not amber. Amber is a different kind of thing. Well, Amber said she had some important information about my truck she had to tell me, but obviously not important enough to leave a message about it.
No, because you asked to call back.
Well, and that ain't going to happen. See, I got a solicitation from them yesterday in the mail. Well, not yesterday, it was Christmas. On the 24th in the mail, saying that they really want to buy my truck back because they just have urgent demand for that kind of truck, and I can get like $20,000, $20,700 for my truck. Bear in mind, this is only like a 3-year-old truck. It's got 15,010 miles on it right now. One, I'm not going to sell it, and two, I don't think $20,700 anywhere nearly covers the value of it, given that I paid $36,000 for this thing. Well, we were actually going to talk about some hotel stuff today. Well, it was Boxing Day. Well, I was remarking to Paul that there doesn't seem to be much traffic up and down Worthington Road today, which surprised me because, there's all this hysteria about, people are flocking to the stores to return things, all this kind of stuff, and but if they're returning things, they're flocking to them by another route. Maybe they're like the wise men. Maybe they're returning to their stores by another road. Maybe they're going into their country by another way. You got to jump in on me, Paul, because I'm going to get a roll.
Or they bought what they actually wanted and what works this time, and they don't have to take it back and swap it off.
Actually, that would be a happy outcome, wouldn't it? Well, yes. Maybe they like that book that somebody bought them. Well, I don't know how many books are being bought for.
Book, blouse, whatever.
A blouse? A blouse.
Shirt, sweater, coat.
Oh, that would be a jumper for people over. It took me a while to figure out what that meant. But, what we call a sweater is called generally, I guess, most over across the Atlantic, a jumper.
Is that what they call them over there?
Yeah, they call them jumpers.
Yeah, well, they basically call them cardigan here or something.
Well, no, a cardigan is a specific style of sweater.
It's a button up.
But it's like a little jackety thing with the
Button.
That was named for this insane general in the Crimean War. And when I say insane, he was a legitimate nut job. But I digress. Now, Paul.
They're going to start working on the floors at night.
There we go.
Because if they do working on them in the day, guests come down, and no matter how you block it off and stuff, for them not to walk on the new area, because it's got fresh cement and stuff over it, they will move whatever you have set up as a barricade so they can walk on the new floor. And then the guys have got to go back and constantly redo them.
That's atrocious.
So they're going to start doing it late at night, and that way it can set through the night, and then it'd be okay if they walk on it in the morning.
I hope the bulk of these people that are doing that aren't traveling overseas and representing us as Americans. I mean, because, if you behave that way, basically, I think in any other hotel, outside of this country, you'd be turfed out on the street instantaneously.
Yeah. Well, the current guy that's there, and he's sort of like in charge of everybody that's still around, or who shows up to work. He has some other people calling and stuff, and he's telling them, he would like to have them come here and help on this. And a couple of the people that called him today, they wanted to know if they could bring their family, and he said no.
Do you still have that piece of tile that they're putting in?
Oh, I threw it in the trash.
Oh, okay. Well, Paul brought home this sample piece of tile. Well, it was one of these things where they had to cut off a thing to make it fit against the wall, right? But it almost looks like real wood floor. And when he first handed it to me, I thought, oh, this is like a composite wood press thing. But it felt far more dense and heavy. It felt heavier than it should be for the little amount he had. And it's tile. It's this tile, and
it's a clay tile, and it's about that thick.
Yeah, it looks like it would be a very reasonable product. And of course, when you first cement these things into place, or glue them into place, I guess they're cemented together and then glued up to the under surface.
Now they just spread fresh cement underneath.
Oh, they actually cement it underneath.
Yeah, put cement underneath and lay and press the clay tile on top of it.
Well, that's interesting because when I had a tile floor put in this other house that I owned, and in the bathroom at the corner house, Roger glued the tile to the floor, but he grouted between the tile where he was,
because
above the floor.
They're putting space, leaving a gap between these. And if you remember the color of the wallpaper, that is about the color and shade of what the grout between these.
So they didn't do
slate strips are going to be.
They did not do the grout at the same time that they're.
No, it's like they're putting down the whole floor, and then they'll go the entire place,
and then they'll do the connections.
Grout all over.
Well, and then sometimes they smear it on, and then they just wash off the. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's okay. Well, I mean, I don't know how to do this stuff. I like to watch it.
They're going to be coming in and like starting to clean up and do the floors and
Well, actually,
start cleaning on something.
well, they kind of timed it just right because this is a slow time for you. Do you like that pause there? That's QuickTime Player 7 doing that to you guys, not me.
Reminds me of some of the TVs in the end.
Yeah, well, that's buffering and all
And the
that.
guest bitch about it.
Yeah, well,
Why does it keep freezing?
yes, yes. Well, so now I guess there's going to be some new rug in the lobby.
Yeah, when you first come in the front double doors, when they get the floor done and everything, they're going to put in this big area rug and it'll say the name on it. It's supposed to be a light blue.
Light blue
Yeah, fairly light blue.
Instead
Not this light.
instead of deep blue. It's going to
It's going to
show.
be a deeper blue than.
It's going to show dirt if it's a light.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Danny said,
I
"How
guess-
fun trying to keep that sucker."
I guess
clean."
that's your that's going to be your problem, and that's going to be your worry.
Yeah. Because that's right. The one guy said, "I hope you have fun trying to keep it clean." Because it's gonna cost. It's costing $2,000.
Well, but it's actually a fairly good size. It's like it's actually around about 11 by 14, and something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a small. This isn't
Rug.
some small throwdown that you
Yeah.
would use as a bath mat.
Because they're all also doing some kind of a throw rug thing in the elevators. Instead of putting in a floor, it'll be some kind of a carpet thing that you can take out and wash every so often. So
Well, there's a company in town.
try keeping the food off of that shit.
Well,
These people can't carry food around, save their lives.
There is a company in town that will come in every day and collect these, clean them, and return them to you. But at the same time, then they also then deliver you a clean, identical product.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name of the outfit right now. But,
I know who you're talking about.
yeah, right. Yeah. No, I mean a lot of medical establishments use them.
Yeah,
And they have the little
like-
uniforms. They do the uniforms and the jackets, and
it's like the throw rug things when you walk into the grocery
Oh,
store.
sure, yeah, no, it's the same.
Those gray
Yeah,
strip things.
yeah. But this sounds like a little higher quality rug. It's not like some
No.
right. I'll be interested to see what that's made of. Now, Paul hasn't laid his hands on this yet, so
It's somewhere around.
I'll be interested to see if it's wool. Because if it's wool, it'll last pretty much indefinitely. Or if it's going to be some petroleum product.
Well, the red ones, they're about like this dining room rug.
Which is brownish orangish.
Yeah, only
It's-
these are
This is from the
Red.
late 1970s, guys.
what was out there is red. I thought it was so nuts because somebody had me take them up and wash them. And that was on the day that they were ripping the floor up. And I was like, "Are you crazy?" I said,
Oh, there's
all
well,
this
there's-
shit they're going to be
there-
tracking over that.
there-
And you want me to wash it?
there are far more significant signs of insanity than that. Well,
So some other people are supposed to start showing up to help do stuff
I hope so.
to get us on the road.
Get these
a little
tasks done.
faster.
Get these tasks done.
And a couple of them want to know if they could bring their wives with them.
They're
And
women.
they're told no,
How much? How much for your women?
no, because you're going to be bunking up with guys. And
I offer you 5 goats for your women. That was from some TV show or movie or something.
we'll pay for you, but we're not paying for the clan
So-
to come
So
along.
all the politically correct people out there, just calm down. I'm not advocating female slavery or any kind of slavery. How much for your women?
Oh, what was?
Oh, well,
that was on a stupid sitcom.
Well, that was on. There was Are You Being Served, and then there was also some movie that did the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody come in and
There was some, and some.
some stupid belly dance.
Yeah.
A couple belly dances.
Yeah, that was on Are You Being Served, but there was also a movie that did that. I think it was.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
what do you want for the women? Let's barter.
Yeah. It's a lot of happy foolishness sometimes. Well, actually, more than sometimes.
And somebody was offered 4 goats and a cow.
Well, Now, my major activity today revolved around lighting. Now, perhaps you guys think the lighting looks a little bit more even here today. No, I didn't get one of those big YouTube movie lights, obviously. But what happened was the other day, one of these compact fluorescent bulbs died. Now they either die right away or they last a long time and then they die. This was one that had lasted a fairly long time and then it died. And I thought I had an identical replacement, but I didn't. So I had to use, this was a 23 watt one. So they call that a 120 watt incandescent equivalent. So I had to replace it with a 19 watt one, which is a 60 watt incandescent equivalent. So the issue is that the outlet, or not the outlet, but the fixture on one of these little 3-headed things that you can buy for about $10, at the cheap stores. The plastic, after the plastic shields are exposed to the heat, they become
deteriorate.
well. They become brittle.
Any time of the day.
They can become brittle and break, and they just fracture. And this thing had gotten down to where it's like you've got this little nubbin of a little white plastic flange. And as much as I don't mind having bare bulbs hanging around, as you gather, I have a fairly laissez-faire attitude toward a lot of stuff. This was annoying me. So I have these outdoor floodlights. What they are. They have the 23 watt bulb inside one of these actually floodlight fixtures. I have them on the floodlights outside my house. And I've got 6 floodlights outside my house, and and they work, fairly well, and plus, they're not nearly as expensive as burning 4, 675 watt or 100 watt incandescent floodlights outside your house. I'll tell you that. Particularly given all the carbon dioxide surcharge nonsense that's going on right now. But leaving that can of worms aside, so I put one of these outdoor floodlights in my fixture over here. I'd show you, but I don't want to be flinging my computer around. Maybe I'll append an end shot. No, doesn't matter. We'll see. So it really does make it a lot better, I think. Now, but the real point of the story was.
I mean, if you get light off
Yeah,
of the ceiling, you get a lighter
yes,
thing in the room.
well, they'll gather that. But see, I woke up at 3:30 this morning, and I'd already had like 7 hours of sleep, and so it's time to get up. So when I get up in the morning, my mind is kind of going into overdrive, but my body is not. You know, my body is at its ataxic best.
The brain's awake, but the body's not.
Well, the bod sometimes is functional, sometimes it's not. Depending, there's no correlation with what's going on up in here. And so I thought I'd better just check out my light supply, which of course I keep in a not over there, but over there in a cabinet that I think I have shown you at one point. But of course, when I go in, now I did have the common sense to take a flashlight with me so I could see what's actually in there. But my sleeve or something caught and knocked one of these
packets
out, and it broke one of the floodlights in it. Well, you know, for somebody like myself, that tends to set the compulsiveness on overdrive. So that just meant that, you know, as soon as it got light enough, I'd have to do something about the light situation. This is called high adventure out here on Allen Creek, guys.
Needless to say, we wasted a $5 light.
Well, it's better.
It's broke.
It's better than dragging the dog's ashes out of the cabinet, and you know that's where our 3 dead dogs. You know, 2 of them are buried in the field, and the other 3 ashes are in the cabinet. Not to mention the camera I've got in there that I need to finish
back in the
last film roll, which I just rewind it and just take the thing out and get the negatives, and then I can use my scanner and load them in the thing. Well, that almost kind of left me kind of breathless there.
But you'd have to have it developed.
Well, you get the negatives, but I don't have to have them printed. You know, because I've got the scanner, I can put the negatives on the negative scanner, and then that
right.
Yeah, and then probably.
Run it through that box.
Well, if I can get that idiotic Silverfast software to work. Now, we have moved far afield. Anything else, Paul?
I can't think of anything.
Well, happy Boxing Day, guys, and stay relatively safe, but have a lot of fun while staying safe. All right, bye-bye, YouTube.